site and looked again at the effect of illegal mining, and we have to be putting matters into perspective. Galamsey has always been with us, so if you go to the communities for years, we have done stories, they always call it Gala. It is how illegally mining is being undertaken that has led to our water bodies being very milky, for which this whole crusade is now being waded. Subsequently, protesters even arrested for infringing on the Public Order Act, and subsequently also we have more protesters also calling for their release. And the president has now waded into what organized labor had given by way of the ultimatum earlier, September 30, now giving a definite one, October 10. Now, the president is telling the members of organized labor, their leadership, that they have to let cool heads prevail. They should hold their horses, and that he's making sure the right solutions are being sought. But what do you make of the president's appeal? And do you think that organized labor need to accede to some of the demands by the president? And subsequently, we encourage you, make sure you cash out. So we have *439#, choose option 2. Make sure you increase the number of tickets you have, and then when we do the draws, you get to win. In the meantime, let me just introduce our guest for the morning. I have Kofi Tonto, who communicates for government as well as the campaign of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, DMB 2024. It is responsible. Good morning to you, Kofi Tonto.
Yeah, good morning.
All right, and then we have Adair Umar. Sheikh, how are you? Mashallah, 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 mashallah. And then also lawyer Dankwa is joining us. And lawyer Pierre Dankwa, how are you?
I'm doing great, yourself.
Great, I'm well. Lawyer Kwame Jantwa is also here. Lawyer Kwame Jantwa, how are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine, eh? But we'll have to begin this conversation in all earnest. This is what the Secretary of UTAG says, and that is Professor Jampo. Professor Jampo will bring you his point. He says that anytime Labour goes into an agreement with them, the government, and for some reason they can't meet the terms, they don't even have the courtesy to tell us that they cannot meet our demands. Subsequently continues, we knew this is what they will be doing. It is so unproductive that they know what to do and they will not do it, but go and call you somewhere to discuss issues. They always want to talk to leaders and not problems, and that is needless and bogus. He concludes by saying, people who do not know how organized labor operates say, why didn't we declare the strike immediately? But organized labor is made up of other unions, and so it is appropriate that we inform those unions appropriately before a major strike. And we know that there was a closed-door meeting, and subsequently that appeal by the president was made. What's a clarion call then, Kofi Tonto, regarding this very... Does the president and the government within its corridors think that organized labor is serious?
Very good morning to you and to your cherished viewers. Certainly, organized labor is a serious institution, and whatever they put out must be taken very seriously. And I'm clear in my mind that the president and the government takes organized labor very seriously. For any institution to call for an end to any ill of our society, we must commend them. It's absolutely right for labor, for even the protesters, to go out there and to engage either government, other citizens, on issues that they feel must be addressed. So Labour has every right to engage government on the issue of Galamsey. And what is more interesting is that Galamsey may not be one of the direct benefits for Labour. Usually when we hear of Labour agitating, it has to do with salaries or benefits and all of that, things that relate to the Labour. So to see Labour engaging outside of something that may not directly benefit them is commendable, and we must definitely encourage such discussions in a democracy.
Did you say that this is a discussion outside the remit of Labour and that necessarily will not benefit them?
I'm saying that usually when labor engages in agitation, they do so, what I know and what we usually see. Of course, there may be other outliers, but I'm saying that usually what we see is issues relating to salaries, benefits, etc.
Okay.
So to see labor going outside of that immediate benefit and then discussing national issues, I think is commendable. That's the point that I'm making. Because this is not something that has to do with their salaries, etc.
Not their conditions of service directly.
They've taken bold steps to go forward and to do that. So definitely commendable. But I think that ought to be done in a way that it's attainable. Whatever goal you set out to achieve, that goal must be fair, that goal must be non-partisan, and then that goal must be attainable or achievable. First and foremost, let's assess the attainability of what labor is asking for. If I recall the statement that I read, I think 2 weeks ago, labor is calling for a total ban on mining, if I recall.
They want a state of emergency declared.
Yeah,
and then also ban, the LI also, that allows for...
But a total ban on mining. And if I'm incorrect on anything, you can feel free and correct me. I'm just trying to remember what I read. A total ban including ban on all forms of mining, ban on illegal mining, banning in the forest reserves. For me, that is not necessarily attainable. How do you ban something that is legal by law? People are doing it the right way. Because mining is a source of employment for people. And there are people who are doing proper, responsible, traceable mining. Let's set it straight. There are people who are doing responsible, traceable, proper mining. And it's a source of employment for them. Interestingly, labor is an employment organization. So we cannot deny persons of their livelihoods because we want to fight against galamsey. So for me, that needs to be looked at again. If somebody is working for Anglo Gold or a small scale that is a responsible mining company, we cannot just close that company down and deny people who have done absolutely nothing wrong of their right to livelihood. The question is, if we ban mining, for example, small scale, responsible small scale mining, and then large scale mining, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands who work for these companies. So if we ban it, how are they going to survive? These are responsible men and women who have families and doing responsible things. So for me, I think that one has to be looked at. Number two, how do you ban illegal mining? Illegal mining is illegal. And that's why we call it illegal mining. So I can understand heightening the efforts of government. I can understand heightening the efforts of security and all of that. But I find it a bit contradictory to say, let's ban something that is illegal.
Kofi Tonto, you've seen the very picture that is on the side on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. And this one, these are not locations that are in obscure places. Okay. These are plain areas where we have close human habitation around water bodies. Yeah. How do you term this sort of encroachment on land, whether it's by somebody who has legitimate license or not, for which ultimately nearby water bodies are being polluted? To say that this one in this state cannot be halted until a proper redress is sought. I've
not said that.
What are you saying?
You see, Roland, it's very important that you don't put words in people's mouths. This is a big platform. I've not said that. I was very careful in my utterances. I said there are responsible legal mining agencies and companies in this country. I went ahead to even mention major large-scale companies that are doing responsible mining. If somebody is mining close to a road or in a community, that can't be responsible mining. I know a bit about mining. So I chose my words very carefully. I said responsible.
Do you mind as well?
No, I don't mind. I chose my words very. I take time to study. I take time to educate myself. That is why I know. So I use the words responsible, traceable, mining. So if somebody is mining in water bodies, that's not responsible mining. When you look at LBMA certification and the requirements, they even make sure that a company that's selling on the LBMA market is doing responsible mining. So if somebody is using children or mining in a community, which is a habitable community or water bodies or even close to water bodies, that cannot be responsible mining. So the second point that I was making, which you cut me off, is the first point I've made. The second point is Galamsey is illegal, and it's illegal, and we all condemn it. And then lastly, what I fully agree with Labour on is that mining in forest reserves, that I think government can do something about immediately. We can put a stop to mining in forest reserves. We can put a stop to mining in water bodies. We can put a stop to some of the visuals that you've shown. So the point that I want to make this morning is that Labour, one, has a right to hold government accountable, even if the issues are not salary or condition of services related. They have a right to do that. But that right must be done in a fair manner, in a non-partisan manner, and then also must be attainable. Must be attainable. Then lastly, putting pressure on government is one thing. And I've said it's commendable. You have to put pressure on government to do what it needs to do to make sure we protect our water bodies. But I think that Labour needs to go a step further.
Which is what? Labour
needs to meet all political parties and hold them to some standards. It's not enough to say that Akufo-Addo's government do A, B, C, D. Because ultimately, if it's not Akufo-Addo's government, it will be another government.
Which government?
It can. I want it to be Bawumia government, but it can be any government. So Labour must meet all political parties
on this.
On this,
okay,
and hold all political parties accountable. Because it cannot be that you call for a ban to illegal mining, you call for protecting our water bodies, etc. And then some political parties will come publicly condemn illegal mining, then go into the hinterlands and tell the people to mine. You are not solving anything. So we must have a concerted effort where we are holding all political parties accountable to some standard. That political parties, these are the things that we expect government, the next government, to do. If it is the Bawumia government or Mahama government or Alan government or Cheddar government or Kwadonko government.
So do I take it that the Akufo-Addo-led government is not taking action because other political parties haven't been made by
That is your interpretation.
Okay. It's a question. It's not my interpretation.
No. Well, it's not a legitimate question because I have not suggested so.
All right.
The point that I'm making is that Akufo-Addo is doing everything that it needs to do. Nevertheless, Labour feels that Akufo-Addo must do more. And I'm saying that Akufo-Addo is going out. If we are going to solve Galamsey, then the proponents, so-called, the leaders in this fight, must come forward and put out their plans. And Labour must hold MPP accountable, NDC accountable, and all other...
Otherwise, nothing will be done.
What do you mean by nothing?
That means no action will be done.
No, you can do other actions. I'm saying this should be one of the actions that
this is one of the demands. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Umar, what do you make of this? Because at the end of the day, Labour is supposed to be entitled to make these legitimate calls based on civil action, the necessary pressure from pressure groupings, and then the general sentiments of the people about how this is not only a public health issue, an environmental disaster, and then a policy failure. At the end of the day, the president says he wants time because he's already taken a number of actions. Another inter-ministerial committee has been put in place. Isn't the president legitimate in these demands and appeals to organized labor? Umar.
Roland, I listened to Tonto, and he says that you cannot ban legal mining because these are responsible people doing responsible work. During the time of COVID, I'm a responsible citizen who was doing carpentry. I was told to stay at home and not work because people have the tendency of dying. I willingly obliged. Thousands of Ghanaians in this country who had businesses who were running had to shut down and lose money because there is a greater good we are all looking to try to solve.
What's your point with this?
My point with this is that when you have a situation where you are risking 30 million plus of your own people, for which those people you claim are doing responsible mining would require, amongst that 30 million people, to come to work and to be able to work in that mine, for them to be able to generate any form of money, you're telling us that we should allow it to go, knowing very well that when it gets out of hand, these workers that they would even require to work would not be fit for purpose. What have you solved? So you're refraining to solving a problem you can solve now, but you're willing to risk those same mining companies if in the next 5-10 years they can't even find hardworking people to come and work because they are ill and probably lying down and doing dialysis. It doesn't make any sense. But again, I want to start today's presentation by laying a certain foundation.
Which are what?
And I want to congratulate the Catholic Church for that act that they have decided to do on the 11th of October.
It's a prayer session.
It's a prayer session, yes, but they are taking a walk against, Galamsey. I would want to call on the Office of the National Chief Imam and all the other offices that are underneath it, the Ahmadiyya Muslim, the Sunni Muslims, my dad's office. I'd like to call on them this morning to make the Muslim community and make an official announcement to allow us to join the Catholics on the 11th.
So now it's going to be interdenominational.
It has
That's
to
your
be.
call now.
It has to be. It has to be. I'm calling on the Office of the National Chief Imam to allow us to all follow. Do you know why? Because when it gets to times like this, what is required now is to pray and get up and fight. You count on God and then you get up to fight. Because certainly we have certain persons that it is difficult to reason with them. Exceedingly difficult to reason with them. You're telling me that it is okay that you risk my life. It is okay that my 8-year-old daughter, who is having to go to school, and Birim having to serve wager, and my taps being opened constantly on a daily basis, and my kids having to drink cyanide and mercury because the Ghana Water Company doesn't have what it takes to take out mercury and cyanide from the water. You're telling me it is okay to allow my daughter to continue to drink that because the president, that we made president, says that give me a little bit more of time. It doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't make sense? The president called for the time.
It doesn't make sense.
Or the actions that he's...
Hold on, so listen to this. So Labour gave you 1 month. You sat down for 1 month. Gave you another announcement to do a nationwide demonstration or a nationwide strike in 10 days. You now call them and say, come and let's discuss the issue of timing. Have you thought about the fact that when Labour mentioned that we're giving you 1 month, if the president had placed a ban a month ago, maybe we would make progress by now. It is the disrespect, the lack of, and then I'm told that somebody, somebody somewhere, the one that is even more annoying is that, there are some NDC persons who are, like Tonto is saying, who are making this thing even worse. That is, when you say that, no, I'm coming.
He hasn't mentioned NDC, to be fair.
I'm coming. When you indicate that all political parties, we have to sit down and go and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Roland.
You said some NDC people who sing Kweku Buahin. Is it Kweku Buahin? Yes. Those videos, I've seen 2 already.
Yes. Roland. So
even yesterday, Dr. Albin called to react.
Yes. So let's say, fine. NDC for Yabon. We don't know anything. We're not smart. We're not intelligent. Let's say. You say you have all the wisdom, you have the intelligence, you have the people, you have the men. It's been given to you. You're telling me, or any other MPP person is telling me, that it is okay to allow, for instance, John Dramani Mahama to decide to go to a certain village, catch people and be murdering them, and they will say, oh, he's an opposition leader. We can't touch him. Ridiculous. Whether it is Boahin, whether it is NDC, whether it is John Mahama who is mining, whoever is mining in the water, for as long as it is risking our life, you're a coward and you're irresponsible to sit down when you have been given the mandate to deal with the situation. Certainly, it doesn't have any wisdom. So
you're saying that even the opposition member, if you know that they are, go and arrest them because you have the enforcement powers?
Roland, when you're coming to work, you drive, right? You're supposed to wear a seatbelt, right? It is your life, right? You can decide not to wear it, no?
True.
Why does the government decide to arrest you for not wearing a seatbelt, which will kill you?
Because I risk my life and the lives of others on the road.
So the government decides to protect you even against your own will. That is what the Constitution is. The Constitution is supposed to protect us against our will. That is why the Constitution will tell you that when you have a daughter who is 80 years old, she has to be in school. She's not supposed to stand by the street and be selling. Even though she's your daughter, you give birth to her. That is why if you took your daughter and you put her on the floor and you decide to be stabbing her in bits and pieces, it will still catch you because even though she's your daughter, you give birth to her and you paid your bills, she has the right to live. So it is irresponsible. Even if you say, in fact, it makes you even more, excuse me to say, unwise. To say that there are some people who are fueling it, but those people are NDC, and they are the ones that are making it worse. What is the use of the military given to you? What is the use of the police given to you? What is the use of all these persons given to you? So when we're going out for demonstration, you can marshal thousands of police officers and security services to stop us from saying, don't kill us. But you can't stop a place like this one we're looking at right here this morning when you show it to us. The video that you just showed.
Open place.
Open place, by the roadside. Osino, by the roadside, everywhere, by the roadside, behind police stations. You can't stop it. You still need to be given a little time to go and sit down and think about it. Maybe if the president would agree to move into one of our villages, deprive himself of all the opportunities that he has, himself, his wife, his children, who are also benefiting from the same mining, move into one of the villages, live there without pure water, without water, and his wife and kids would have to come out with this water and drink from it. Perhaps he will think twice. Roland, for the MPP sympathizers, people like Tonto, and I respect them, MPP sympathizers, people like Tonto, people like all these other persons who feel that, oh, we can't even speak to it. We have to toe the line of the president. When the president is going back home, he doesn't even recognize you. You say you go and vote for him. He doesn't even recognize you. He doesn't even know you. He doesn't know your mom. He doesn't know your dad. He would go home and has enough to import water. You will struggle in your hustles, and you would have to watch your kids go to Kolebu and can't even find renal services to be given to them. This is not something to talk about. Stop it. Let's move. Stop it. No one is saying when you stop it, we're not saying ban illegal mining for the rest of ban legal mining for life. Why? When you did, a lockdown, it was for life. No. Stop. There's a problem. Stop first. Everybody stop. When you stop, and you've done it before. When you stop, then now come, let's sieve it. Let's sieve the situation. Let's try and solve it. You can't see reason in this. What do you want us to tell you?
There's been a conversation so far, if you take a look at the last couple of weeks, and I think also being reiterated by Kofi Tonto, which is about if there's a blanket call for mining ban, does it mean that we have to include, or is it possible that we exclude the bigger mining firms, those who are mining sustainably? And the whole point is that people are mining unsustainably. So how do we need to segregate or disaggregate that whole call for a mining ban, a moratorium, which is a temporary order, which has been done before prior to the onset of this policy directive of Galam Stop and all that?
Yeah, so let me take this opportunity to wish your lovely viewers a good morning, and wish my colleagues here, Tuntu, my big brother, Janto, and Adele, a good morning, and to say that I think a fantastic submission by Adele, which I want to stand on all fours, on all fours with. Yes, I think I also want to comment the organized labor for their call on the president. One, to place a ban on if I heard right, small-scale mining, they are not asking for a wholesale ban on mining. I think
you mean generally. I mean, that's how I understand it, but it's been construed to mean that maybe they want Anglo Gold and everybody else, but I don't. But that's how it's been interpreted.
And it's also legal if you look at Section 87 of our Minerals Act, Mining and Minerals Act. It states clearly that the minister has the right to revoke the license of small-scale mining firms. They've given licenses, they have to revoke their licenses if it's in the interest of the public. I think it is beyond contestation that what we are faced with now. Some people call it existential threat. Essentially, our very existence is on the line, because where you have metals like mercury, lead, arsenic being used to refine gold, and you understand that when they enter into living organisms, including the food we eat, not just our water bodies, they don't live, and the impact they can have on us. I think the threat of illegal mining is beyond contestation. Also, I wish to add that organized labor has been very generous on the president.
You think they've been soft on the president? They met him yesterday. Closed down meeting.
I think the people of Ghana have been very soft on the president. I've said it here so many times. I don't even have the energy to say it anymore. That when the issue of Galamsey comes up, you shouldn't look anywhere but the president. And the call on the president isn't to ban Galamsey per se, and that's why he's also playing games with us. Because common sense dictates that immediately you ban Galamsey.
The moratorium.
Immediately you remove that LI that says that they should go and mine in forest reserves immediately. Because, and you see, we have been soft on the president. By now we should be hitting the streets, demanding for the stepping down, the removal of the president legally. What you see, the demonstration shouldn't just be place a ban on Galamsey. We've given you this job for 8 years, for crying out loud. We've given you this job and we've placed a trust in you. We've created a trust in you, giving you all the powers of government. We've created a trust in you, not only to protect our natural resources, but also to protect our environment, because of the impact, the negative impact it can have, not just on us, but on our children and our children's children. But he slept. The president slept. What more time does he need? He slept. We saw, did we not read Prof. Frimpongboate's report? Is the president saying that with all the access he has to all the experts in the land, he does not know the impact of what is happening on our very existence? What has he done? Is he not aware? So when Akota Mind and all these MPP apparatchiks, when they are there, so the president isn't aware. See, what is happening is that we have a president who's chosen his party, his personal agenda over the national agenda. And
what is the personal agenda?
To advance the cause. Remember, you didn't hear to the only reason why they always make an argument and make reference to the NDC is because they fear that should they do what is right now, it may affect their fortunes come 2024. So their only focus is how do we get ourselves into power. As to what they use the power for, that one for them is a secondary issue. It's a secondary issue. What they use the power for is one important for them. What will make the majority chief whip? What familiar spirit will make him say that he wants to have a debate, not on how to sustain democracy, especially in the following on the back of what Afrobarometer report said. He does not want to have a debate on how to restore the credibility of the economy of this country. He doesn't want to have a debate on that. He does not want to have a debate on how to restore the environmental integrity of this country. He doesn't want to have a debate on that. He wants to have a debate between the MPP and the NDC, who has caused more destruction on our environment. Because their concern is not about Ghana. Their concern is how do we sustain ourselves in power. Yes, they want the power, but they do not want to work. So where we've given you a job, and my brother here was making a great argument. You see, go back to the 11th thing. the basis for the kind of government we have now, the social contract. You understand? Where all of us, independent, we are all free, independent people, we agree to cede a bit of our powers to give to government. For what end? To what purpose? And in the Levantine, it also says that where the person or government, where we've given him our powers, and he uses those powers in a manner adverse to the reason why we give him those powers, then he loses the legitimacy to continue to hold those powers. And that's why in our constitution, Article 69, Article 60, it says that where the president breaches any of the oath he took, you understand, the oath to be faithful to Ghana, the oath to defend, protect the constitution of this country, the oath to dedicate himself to the well-being of the citizens of this country, where he's breached that oath, he loses the legitimacy to continue to hold the power.
You think he's lost that legitimacy? He's
lost it a long time ago. And that's why I'm saying that the demonstrations we are having, the call on organized, it's not just for the president to ban small-scale mining. The president is not ready to do that. In fact, he's even was asking for more time and play with them so that his 8 weeks will expire. Then he goes and enjoys whatever he may. You see, the call, and even if it's one day, that call must be made because government is a continuous act. People will come after the president. We need to set a signal loud and clear. We need to set a precedent that when we give our powers to you, and you use those powers in the manner that's adverse to the purpose for which we gave those powers to you, then we will impeach you. We will impeach you. So for me, on 10th October, organized labor shouldn't miss this opportunity. We missed the opportunity when they attempted that strike on what's it called? On the attempt to buy SNIT. Because that was also a fundamental use of the powers we've given the states in the manner that was adverse to our collective interests. We shouldn't miss that chance come 10th October. On 10th October, the clarion call should be one. Because one of the fundamental principles that governs our constitution is probity and accountability. It's probity and accountability. And we, the repository of sovereign power, should not be afraid to hold the feet of people we've given our powers to, who have used those powers in a manner adverse our collective interests, in a manner that potentially can impact the very existence of us Ghanaians. We should not miss this opportunity to hold his feet to the fire. Come 10th October, the clarion call should be one. Nana Akufo-Addo should step down. Nana Akufo-Addo should be impeached because clearly he's breached the terms of the oath he took. And it should not be an excuse that he has just 8 weeks. It should not be an excuse that he has just 8 weeks. You see, we should set this precedent. So going forward, when people want to be president, they understand that it's serious business. And that when they come and they use the powers we've given them in a manner adverse to why we give them those powers, we will remove them.
All right. At the end of the day, the president has already taken certain steps. And I already have here, and that was taken after organized labor had raised certain concerns, or before then even, while the clarion call had been on. The 5-member committee is in place. Again, we have the recomposition of this entire ministerial committee. It will be the second within the last period that we're having disaster on our hands when it comes to illegal mining and the environment. So we have 6 or 5 ministers who compose a 5-member committee, an interministerial mining committee again. That's a first step. So perhaps the president's call is for you to hold on. Let me move to next year. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Because organized labor is supposed to have a meeting today and come out with an announcement. They could even suspend this, I mean, just because of this clarion call by the president.
Good morning to our viewers. Morning. Good morning to my fellow panelists. What are you talking about?
The president has made an appeal.
It is not a consultative committee that we are looking for. We are looking for the president to act. You see, the president is making people like Tonto's life difficult. The president is disrespecting the MPP party. Because I know Tonto. Tonto is a straight talker. And he will say it as it is. Today, he can't do that.
He just talked. I think it's a bit unfair.
I say, I know Tonto.
No.
I've been on platforms with Tonto.
You mean he's more vociferous than this one?
And I respect him. Of some of the young people in the MPP, he's one I respect a lot.
Okay.
Because he will say it as it is. Today, a lot of his kind cannot. Within himself, does he agree to what is happening? If he went in the MPP party, will he talk the way he's talking? I doubt it. Let me go to the Constitution.
How did I talk?
Dancing round what the problem
you mean
is.
Soft-spoken and all that?
Dancing round, he should attack the president head on. You talk about committee. Did he not set a committee up before?
The one headed by Frimpong Boateng.
What was the result? It's results we are looking for. What was the result of that committee? Let me go to the Constitution. What the Constitution says? It says, the principle that all powers of government spring from the sovereign will of the people. What is the sovereign will in this particular instance? Aren't the people calling for a ban? And the people are not saying completely ban mining. They are saying ban mining for a period so that we can put things in place. But then, who caused harm? Whose fault is it? Are you trying to tell me that the president, and look, illegal mining, it is profitable if we are able to put it in line for it to be formal and legal. It is profitable. It will create a lot of jobs. Is that not the responsibility of the president to have made sure that they put it in the right on the right footing for it to become legal, for people to be able to mine properly? Shouldn't have been. I would love your producers to play the swearing in of President Akufo-Addo.
Which one? The citizens, not spectators.
His swearing, his oath he took. Should play it for us to hear. And juxtapose it against what he's telling us today. Let me ask the question. Is the president insensitive? Is he an insensitive person?
Why would you make that conclusion?
After all that is happening, after all that even Johnny's Bite showed us, the food we are going to eat, the water we are going to drink, is he an insensitive person? Will I be right in saying that? Does he not see what is going on? And can he not care? The president came to our houses 4th August, didn't he? Did he not? What did he come and tell us? What did he tell us? 4th August, he came into our house. What did he tell us?
You mean the address?
Yeah, what did he tell us? He told us about J.B. Dankwa and why J.B. Dankwa is the founder. The fact that J.B. Dankwa he sees as a founder and this particular issue, which is most important, should he not be addressing us? He's president, isn't he? We gave him the power. Said, Mr. President, go there and what? Take care of our country for us. The power resides in us, but we are giving it to you.
Are you saying the president is not dealing with this as a national emergency?
Is he?
There's an interministerial committee.
Please. When was the last time you heard of the interministerial committee? I said we want to hear from the president. We want him to come and talk to us the way Otumfuo talked to us. And Otumfuo acted. That is the kind of leadership we are looking for. We have self-imposed genocide. And you see, Akufo-Addo's albatross is Galamsey.
Akufo-Addo's one?
Albatross is Galamsey. John Mahama's albatross was Dumso. Akufo-Addo's albatross is Galamsey. We expect him. And you see, Galamsey more on water bodies. This water body alluvial gold mining happened more in Akufo-Addo's tenure. And we expect him to do something and say something about it. This bit he's playing just killing with, what do you call it, labor.
You think why he's dodging them, playing Chaskele?
What Chaskele is he playing?
How can you use the word Chaskele?
What do you mean I can't use the word Chaskele? Labour has said we are going to put this
The president is playing Chaskele with organized labor.
He is. He is. Because he should be dealing with this problem. He should be dealing with this problem. Is he dealing with it? By talking to, what do you call it, Labour. Is he dealing with it? The what do you call it, the fact that the points that Labour has, how long will it take to put in place? How long? How long will it take to put? You see, a lot of licenses, mining licenses, have been given this year, haven't it? And some of those licenses were given to former galamseyers. And some of these, what do you call it, small-scale miners are doing galamsey in water bodies. That is the challenge. And you're telling me the president doesn't see it? The president can't be bothered about it? This lies, you see, when he made that statement, the buck stops with me. This buck stops with him. It doesn't stop with anybody. And unfortunately, his vice president seems to tell us that he's no more in power. He's more interested in campaigning when Ghana is dying. I expect the vice president to show Ghanaians, you say what? You want to be president. Show Ghanaians you can be president. And take your boss on. Take your boss on. Let your boss realize the type of challenge this country is in. Look, I watched a BBC podcast the other day, which is being run by Martin Dennis. And one of the major things she talked about was Ghana's galamsey, and showed the polluted water bodies to the world. Did he not just come from the UN? Did he not just come from the UN? Is that a good reflection on our country? Is that a good, would you say it's a good reflection on our country? The way the president is handling this issue of galamsey, is it a good reflection on our country? I don't see how that's a good reflection in our country. Something that can pollute food we eat. Water. Life is water. You're doing absolutely nothing about it, and you're calling for what? You're calling for time. What kind of time? Don't stop me. What kind of time? What kind of time is he looking for again? You have how many months to go? If for nothing at all, if for nothing at all, if you feel you yourself, you won't be able to look at things, please call all the stakeholders in this country, the so-called big men in this country. First person, President Mahama. Second president, President Kufuor, Otumfuo, Sam Jonah. All these big people we give credence to, sit them around the table. And tell them, we tried to bring committees in the first time round. It didn't seem to work. This is a national issue we need to tackle as a country. Please, let's tackle it together. The people are talking, you don't want to listen. And I beg, my dear lady Rebecca, Nana Akufo-Addo is your husband. Speak to him for us. I beg, speak to him for us. Because you see, this genocide might not happen today, but in the future it will happen. If we do not do something about it now. Sam Jonah, please, people respect you in this country. You've been in the mining industry for quite some time. Please, speak to the president. PNM, please, speak to the president. Because really, is the president benefiting from galamsey? Is he? Is he benefiting from galamsey? That's why he doesn't want to do anything about it. And if he is not benefiting from galamsey, it's his party benefiting from galamsey. That's why he does not want to do anything. That's why he wants more time. What more time again? The country is being destroyed. What more time again? This week, I went to the local content seminar at, Petroleum Commission. I was passing on the River Pra. I stood by the River Pra for 15 minutes, just looking at this huge expanse of water that looks like coffee. And there were people around it trying to collect some of that water. Some couldn't decide whether they should collect it or not collect it. And these people, they are not as what do you call it? They are not as, they are not in the way I live. At least I have a house. At least I'm getting water. They have no question. They have to drink that water.
The same place.
And you are trying to tell me that Nana Akufo-Addo doesn't see this and he's not interested. I don't want, and I'll end here, I don't want, after Nana Akufo-Addo has left, to liken him to Hitler, where genocide was being... Well, you're looking at me. Is this not self-imposed genocide? Is it not? Are people not dying? He told us, I do not know how to bring people back, but I know how to bring the economy back. People dying. Will he be able to bring them back? He said he put his presidency on the line. Did he understand what he meant by putting your presidency on the line? Did he understand it? Putting your presidency on the line means that if I do not get the result, I'm prepared to step down. Has he? Let's go on. Let's go on the way we are going on. And in the end, we will see where Ghana will end.
Kofi, what's the next step then? Now that the president has made the appeal, if Labour should say that, oh, we agree, so we're calling our ultimatum off, what does it mean? What's the next plan?
The next plan is for the right agencies and the right persons and the professionals to put the right framework together. You see, we have a very difficult fight that we are fighting. And, you know, I haven't minced words this morning. I've been very clear in my position. And I've spoken against Galamsey. And I even commended Labour for what they are doing.
So the president, what is doing?
No. I've never said that.
No,
I've never said what...
Let's hear it from you.
Please,
what the president is doing, he could have done it better. Let's hear that from you. That's what we want to hear. And that is why I'm saying you are Tonto.
You have sat here. You have sat here. Even when the president does something right, you find a way to walk around it.
No.
Even you...
Not always.
So please, the point is...
Not always.
I have sat here... And
Mr. Tonto, I asked a specific question. The question is that, now there's the appeal. Organized Labour said they are entering into an emergency meeting today with their members. They'll come out with a public statement. And I'm asking, okay, so let's have a hypothetical situation. Organized Labour says that we are heeding to the president's call. I mean, what's the game plan?
I've already answered it. I said that we need a framework that is going to solve this issue. Look, we can do the protest. We can do all the discussions we want to do. The bottom line is that we need the solutions. And that is why I said, if we are not paying attention to the underlying issues and how we are going to solve them, my brother, we can sit here and talk. I mean, the president, can anybody sit here, say that the president has done absolutely nothing when it comes to Galamsey? Can anybody sit here and...
What has he done?
A lot.
Like what?
A lot. The president has done the issues about setting up the community mining to ensure that we allocate mining concessions to the right people, show them how to do the right mining. We have done alternative livelihood. We have given them gold catchers to ensure that it is mercury-free, so they clean the gold differently. So many.
How come our water bodies have metals and other states?
Because the fight against Galamsey is not an easy fight.
So the president has given up?
The president has not given up.
He hasn't?
No, of course not.
Because you are saying on one hand, the fight is not an easy fight.
Of course.
And the president has given us the result. The results are in the colors of the water bodies and the complaints of the citizens generally.
The problem you have is that you interpret anything I say to your understanding.
So I'm not intelligent.
No, you see, the same thing that you are doing. If I say you interpret something to your understanding, does that mean you are not intelligent? That's a bogus interpretation of what I said.
Okay.
Completely bogus.
So my interpretation is not good.
Completely bogus. If I say that you've interpreted something to your understanding, how does that amount to saying you are not intelligent?
Okay.
And this is what you have done since morning. Anytime I come here, You take what I say.
No, please.
Put
Let's
a
not get
spin
it.
on it. No, you've done
I've
it.
never
I've had
gotten
to
personal.
correct you about 3 times this morning.
I've never gotten personal with you.
It's not personal.
And
You've
we're
done it this morning.
No,
3 times.
and we're speaking to the issue. So let's not get around this very tangent.
I'm not going to get
So let's
around
come back to
anything.
this. Let's come back to this. Don't make me the subject of the discussion.
I have not made you.
So
you made yourself the subject.
No, you made a statement that the president has taken key policy decisions.
Yes.
And I'm asking you, the policy decisions, because I know for policy implementation is supposed to have an outcome. And I'm saying, is that the outcome we're seeing based on the testimonies and what we're seeing currently? Is that the outcome?
I'm saying that we have made efforts. We haven't been able to solve every aspect of the issue confronting us. That doesn't also mean that we haven't made any effort at all.
It's getting worse. Kofi Tonto.
You can assess how worse it is getting. You can even assess whether the solutions are the best solutions for it. The point that I'm making to you is that some efforts have been made. You can say that, okay, the efforts you have made have not been enough, they haven't been efficient, etc. But that's not to deny the fact that efforts have been made. That is the point that I'm making. And that is why I'm saying that going forward, how do we genuinely assess the issue? There are political implications. We can sit here and dance around the issue all we want. But there are political implications in the sense that if a president is fighting a cause, all political parties who have interest in solving this very problem, all political parties who are looking for power, quote unquote, to solve this political problem, must be seen to be engaged in activities that contribute to solving that problem. That is one aspect of it. But what do we see? What do we see? We see a political party coming out to say that we condemn it, but then going into the hinterlands.
So, Victor, I've asked you a specific question. You are going around the issue, and I'll again relay the question.
Okay, what question?
So,
I've answered the question.
No, you haven't.
To your understanding, I haven't.
Okay,
but I've answered the
to my understanding,
yeah.
I asked you a question, and so let's stay on this tangent.
All right.
You are saying that they are going to think about policy and going to have it done. And I'm saying that, yeah, if we think about the policy, etc., what other things will be done to make sure that from now to the time the president's term expires, what are we going to do to improve the situation?
I've told you that one. The president has asked for time to engage labor further. The president has set up a committee. The committee are engaging professionals who understand the issues better to come up with the right framework for us to deal with this issue. I am not a professional to tell you, let's do A, B, C, D for us to solve the issue. There are professionals who understand it. So we have to allow these professionals to come up with the right framework to deal with the issue. Labour has proposed a solution which is ban illegal, all forms of mining completely. I have said that, look, aspects of it, we can allow them to do what they have to do and focus on where the problems are. That is what I've said. So I don't know how you keep asking me
So that's it. We're doing consultation.
Right, Roland.
Yes, sir. We're doing consultation.
Yes, Roland. Let me take this from here. And
then he's also made a call. We need to meet all the parties, come to a solution as part of the consultation and come for a solution.
Political, implications and all of that. What would His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo lose, assuming, for instance, that he decides to go ahead and do the ban and do the right thing, and then at the end of the day, the MPP loses the elections? What would he lose? What would he have lost? What the people of Ghana has given to His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo and his family, what we have given to them and their family, they have not given that back to the people of Ghana for the rest of their life.
We don't have to personalize this issue. The president is the president. So what's his family got to do? Please, I ask you a specific question.
Don't worry, I'm building up a presentation to it. You see, the president, my colleague here indicated earlier on that the president, thinks about his party and then he thinks about, himself. No, the president is actually very, very selfish. He doesn't even think about his party. And I'll tell you why. The Ashanti region has how many constituencies?
47.
It's the largest, right? Right? Isn't that his stronghold? Isn't that the MPP's stronghold?
It is.
Are they not drinking this water? They are not? Is the Otumfuo not making noise? Has he listened? So this is a man that says that he cares about even his own party people. That is why I'm calling them to wisdom. The Bible says what? In Proverbs 12:15. It says that the way of a fool is to be right in his own eyes. But the wise one is the one that listens to what? Counsel. Roland, when you're being given power and when you have wealth, it doesn't change your character. That is what they're refusing to understand. No, I'm bringing you. Don't do.
It don't solve anything.
It will. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because you have sat here this morning. I want you to understand that you're talking to us as though we don't have reason. You have sat here and indicated that you have done Galam Stop. This is your logic. This is your wisdom, Tunto. You have done Galam Stop. You have done HALT. You have done, what do you call it, community mining. You have done so much. Roland, when we went to school, we were taught, you and I, he was taught, that when you're instructed to move this table from here to here, and Tonto stands here, he pushes, he's sweating, he's pushing, he's sweating for 40 hours, and the table does not move from here to here. Is that work done? Is that work done? That is calculation. That is how you calculate work done. Don't talk to us as though we don't have any sense. We're speaking wisdom to you. Listen, what is John Mahama telling you? John Mahama is giving you counsel. You're refusing to listen. Power, when you're given power, you've been given discretion. But discretion cannot be exercised without wise counsel, without wisdom. So even though you've been given power, and you can decide to ban it and not to ban it, and you can decide to jump around the place, and you can even decide to go to court and then, tie God's hands behind his back. What we're telling you is that listen to wise counsel. Look, Jabbing constituency. Jabbing constituency.
Which one?
New Jabbing.
New Jabbing.
The MPP constituency chairman is called Chairman Aluta.
Which of the, we have not...
Jabbing.
Okay,
I'll get it
Jabbing.
Chairman
Aluta.
Jabbing. Thank you very much. Jabbing chairman. He's in the Bonfa forest, destroying our water.
And the one that Okatachi called the other day.
Yes.
And he ran away on the phone.
He's on the forest, destroying our water, with 10 Chinese personnel. John Mahama is telling you that when you go to that site, and you arrest the young boys who are there, 20 of them, you drop them in jail. The following week, what happens is that Chairman Aluta is still in existence. He's the one that owns the excavators, and 10 Chinese are still there. They would find another 10, 20 boys in the community, bring them back there. You go back, you arrest them, you take them. In a short while, what you would have succeeded in doing is that you would have succeeded in arresting all the young people who are in the community and place them in jail, who were perhaps looking for ways to basically survive. You have placed all of them in jail, but Chairman Aluta is still there. He'll continue to put in people there. John Mahama is telling you that when you want to solve problems, wisdom requires that you solve it from the root. So what do? Take Chairman Aluta, take the Chinese. They have access to money. They have access to power. When you get rid of them, you won't have 20 boys going into the forest to destroy it. You say you can't understand this. This is your wisdom. This is your logic. We're saying...
So you shall arrest the kingpins instead of the workers.
If you put Chairman Woon to me behind bars. Look, they say... No, I'm coming. Let me... No, we will. When the NDC was in power,
emotional talks,
you can
solve the problem.
Look, listen, Tonto.
What you are doing is just...
Tonto,
I'll come back.
Tonto,
You go ahead.
Hold on, let me land. Whether it is emotional or it is not emotional, and whether I'm speaking wisdom or I'm not speaking wisdom, the people who are watching us have brains and they think and they went to school and they can reason.
And the people watching
can you please
know
keep quiet? Don't do that.
John Mahama
I have had respect
has been
for
a
you.
president before.
No problem. So what?
Stop it.
Okay, so President Mahama...
You didn't have the wisdom.
No problem. No problem. President Mahama has been a president before. You said he didn't have the wisdom to handle it. When you had done so, he took responsibility and he dealt with it. What have you done?
Dealt with what?
What have you done?
Dealt with what?
What we're telling you is that you can go around and do all these things you are doing, Tonto. And for me, honestly, you're making me starting to even lose respect because I am expecting for you because I'm expecting you.
Let's not get personal, please.
No, but when he comes at me like that, it is only certain that I have to respond to him. So when you
question your argument,
Tonto, you spoke here. I don't agree with you. Are you more wiser than I am, or do you have any wisdom I don't have?
Let's not get personal. Please make your point
to me.
No, please. It's okay.
You've referred to me several times.
You have listen.
I have referred to you.
Oh, ya Allah. Why don't you? They don't have patience. I am saying that. Be patient. If you have anything, write it down. I'm saying that. When you're given power, what you have been given is discretion. But discretion requires for you to listen to wisdom. Wisdom is telling you that the Catholic Church says stop it. Labour says stop it. Christian council, Muslim council, everybody, CSOs, young people are moving into the streets. You are telling me that it is okay for you to continuously poison me small, but I don't have the right to call you out. Otunfo Saitutu, His Excellency, and this is my final message. The Otunfo, revered Otunfo, and I respect him and I love him, and I love the things that he's doing. But this morning, I am calling on him once more to remember us, his young ones, because he's that one person who can open his mouth with the Ashanti region being the headquarters of the NPP to call the president to the order and tell him that let this thing be done. So I am calling on him this morning to look at my daughter who is 8 years old and tell the president that put aside your pride, put aside the arrogance, put aside every other thing. We have given you more than you have given us. And for that matter, we're not ready to sit on this one. I am calling you, Professor Uncle, on the 11th, we are moving. On the 11th, we are going. If you won't go sit at home, when it gets to you, you would learn.
Let me give you 3 minutes on this. Just try and wrap up on this. What do you make? What should be the final decision of the president now? Let's say organized labor says that, well, we're giving in, so we'll give you more time.
The president will do...
In terms of the policy direction to resolve this before we have the next 2 weeks elapsing, 2 months elapsing.
Contrary to what my brother Toto is saying, and sorry if I make reference to you,
oh, that's right.
I don't think the president will do anything. He hasn't done anything for 7 years.
In terms of your expectation?
Yeah, I don't expect him to do anything. Like I said, my personal view is that he's just trying to dribble the issue and then go quietly into retirement. You understand? And that's why I think that the burden is on. Because you see, we have the laws. I keep on saying this. We have the Minerals Commission. See, when the Constitution created a trust in the president, it decided to help the president by taxing Parliament to establish institutions that will help the president to discharge his duties that the Constitution itself had placed upon him by way of the trust. So Parliament was tasked to create a Minerals Commission. Parliament was tasked to create a Forestry Commission. Parliament was tasked to create the EPA, all with the focus of enabling the president to undertake his obligations, you understand, as a trustee of our natural resources. Also, he has the police force, he has the military, and there are forestry enforcers. He also has the inspectorate division of the Minerals Commission. Yes, this is an issue for experts, but the experts are within the institutions. If there are no experts there, use your executive powers to ensure that there are experts in the institutions, enforce the institutions, empower them, and let them undertake or help you to discharge your duty. But the president hasn't done that. You see, they go and create, and I think Mama also did the same.
Yeah, they had a committee.
Interministerial committee. That doesn't solve the problem. Just enforce the law. Because you work with laws. Enforce the laws. That's all. Arrest Chamaun to me if he has breached the law. Arrest, yes, I'll say it. Why can't I say it? Because the report there was an allegation that Akota Mine had a prospecting license. But there's an allegation that he used that to mine. An allegation about, what's it called? What's his name? Aluta, my own friend. Aluta.
He's your friend, eh?
He's my friend, Aluta Chamawan. Aluta won the elections there with one vote. Chamawan, he's my very good friend. You understand? Arrest the MPP apparatchiks who are doing Galamsey. You understand? Arrest them. At least even prosecute them. See, once you do that, you didn't do that when they were using the Tamara phone. Once you do that, you understand? Once you prosecute the so-called big fishes doing Galamsey, you'd have solved the problem 80%. And that's why I'm saying that the president has slept on his job. And we also, the people of Ghana, we should be calling for his head. Once we call for his head, in a legal manner, in a constitutional manner, call for an enforcement of Article 69 of our Constitution. Once that is done, in future, if my brother Tuntu, I don't think he'll do that. If my brother Tuntu becomes president of Ghana, you remember what happened to our own president. And finally, to call on the MPP. Because when you read the objectives for why the MPP was formed, go and take MPP's constitution. One of the fundamental objectives for
you know the constitution very well, then.
The MPP constitution. I say, and go take your time. The objectives of the MPP. One of the abiding purposes, objectives for which the MPP was formed, was to ensure that the environmental integrity of this country is not undermined. You understand? And so when you give us a president, when you sell a president to us, and he comes and in how he's acted, You understand? He's acting contrary to your fundamental objective. And you see that and you do not criticize. You see that and you do not call him to order. You see that and you do not call for his impeachment. Then when the day of reckoning comes, your party's head will also be on the line. Thank you.
Jantua.
Unfortunately.
What policy direction? There's supposed to be consultation. I'm told that Tonto is telling us, so we're now going to have a new way by which we can address this. In the next 8 weeks, what should we be expecting?
We should go on strike. Labour should go on strike if the president,
how?
If the president doesn't do anything about it. We are talking water bodies. Let me take you into... And the president, by his non-action, has breached conventions of the UN where water bodies are concerned. And I'll read it to you. UN Security Council resolution. Resolution 2139, 2014, demands protection of civilians, including access to safe water. 2. Resolution 2254, 2015, emphasizes protection of water infrastructure. And when you go to International Criminal Court, it says, Rome Statute 1998 considers attacks on civilian objects, including water infrastructure, as war crimes. Currently, those protecting the Galamsey people, do they not have guns? Do they not have powerful weapons? And the danger here is that with all the terrorism going on in West Africa, they might not attack Ghana, but they'll see Ghana as a source of making money to promote the terrorism going on in West Africa. These miners are protecting themselves with weapons. And we sit, and the president is not getting the army in there. The president is not calling a state of emergency because we are in a warlike situation where water is concerned. I think going forward, and I would have loved, the moment the president got the, what do you call it, from the unions, he acted on it there. Shouldn't wait to call a meeting and tell us, give us time to act on it. This is...
But now we should have the army and all those people entering, arresting people.
In real time.
Okay.
Real time. And it's a danger for this country.
Roland, very quickly. I think whoever is found destroying our water bodies must be punished by the law.
Is that what you think?
Must act. Irrespective of the political positioning of that person, the law must act. But we must go beyond just... No, my brother, I have said that here before. Last week, remember last week when I came here, that was the very first thing I said. That the law must deal with whoever, irrespective of their political leanings. I said it here last week. Yeah, you were here, Lawyer Jantua. So we've had this discussion. The point that I'm making is that after arresting people, there ought to be a framework. What is the framework? And that framework must be part where all political parties come to the table and say, we are all committing to this.
Who calls it? The spearhead
Lawyer Jantua, don't go there about who calls it.
We all know who calls it.
Step into the world of Dewa 539 for your chance to win big. With Dewa Direct and Dewa Chop Money. Now with Dewa Direct, you dial *446 hash. Pick option 1. No, pick the numbers, range of the numbers 1 to 39. I'm reading on the LPM. Live presenter mention. That's what it's called. So let me read it. They pay for it, please. So you pick the range of the numbers 1 to 39 and win big. And I have my great friend in the United States, well, Lee Brown, certainly, as well as your wife, Angela. You're celebrating your marriage anniversary. Please stick to this one, okay? North Carolina people, and win 20 times, 40 times, 400 times your stake, and win cash every evening at 7 p.m. And also on Sundays at 6 p.m. Now, early bird, they also love Dewa Chop Money. And at 10 a.m., you make sure you down same short code *446 hash. You choose the range of the numbers 1 to 39. You win big. It is always 20 times, 40 times, 400 times your stake. Just in case you want to go online, you can do so. Dewa-nla.com and also dial and have some great interaction. For all those of us who have had some great encounters on social media, I've seen Kwame Nayesel, and then also Lawrence Nunu, Eric Jokoto, Obrimpong Kaba, Kwesi Mensah joining us from the US as always, Afrosin Frank, And all of you, Saeed Mohammed Nurdin, we thank you so much for your comments as well. We're always grateful. Money, yamole, yamo, nani yao. Thank you. Gentlemen. No comment.
Roland,
he
spoke about wisdom. You should have challenged him about the wisdom that he was talking about.
Some of the things that our viewers are saying.
Muhammad's subordinates go into the bushes and tell them, go ahead and mine.
And all of you.
Then Muhammad comes and says, I'll arrest the big people.
Read some of the
So I have this one. I have this one from a friend. He says in 2024 alone, the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government has so far issued an extremely disturbing number of 70 small-scale licenses. Unknown name with her, and this from somebody who is very close to the government. Yeah. So it's the severity. Already since 2017 till now, we have over 1,000. Is it 400 or 500?
532.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, when you give these licenses, people say that's a leeway. We are going. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.
Energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Ja, ja, ja.
One choice, multiple styles. All big, all unique.
This October to December, King's Furniture says, thank you, Ghana. Enjoy a whopping 25% off on all our domestic kitchen, wardrobes, and sofas. Upgrade your home with the finest furniture, crafted right here in Ghana. And for your office, we're offering 20% discount on all office furniture because your workspace deserves the best. Whether it's for home or office, now's the time to make your space truly yours and give the gift of comfort and style to your loved ones. Hooray! Promo is from October 1st and ends December 31st, 2024. Visit King's Furniture Showroom today and enjoy these incredible discounts. Locate us in Accra, Kisima, adjacent Melco, and Takrade, Tanokrum, Pipeline, right opposite Connect FM, or call us on 050-150-5507 Accra and 050-133-2327. King's Furniture sets a standard, and a big thank you to Ghana.